decided to use the McCall's pattern that I had, and so I cut it out, and it actually is called a duster. So I cut out the sleeve. Now, one funky thing I did was I used the binding for the quilt as the edge of the sleeve for the second edge. I was like, oh, that would have been smart to do it in the other one. So we'll see how that goes. And then I cut out the front and the back. And so, and this of course is with a used quilt that I bought at a thrift store that I washed, of course, and now I'm going to sew it together. And so when I've done that, so now I have a pile. So my pile of scraps is building, okay? So when you start cutting stuff out, you're going to have that. Now, what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to use my rotary cutter, and I'm going to cut them into 1 inch strips, 1.5 1 inch strips. And so what happens is when I cut this all up in those strips and I wash the dog bed, this is where the magic starts happening. It will kind of like, you know, remember making, I don't know if you ever made a rag quilt, but once you cut the rag quilt, you fray it, you trim it, and then you wash it and then it frays. That's what's going to happen with all these scraps. So when you put it in the washing machine and then the dryer, it's going to fluff it up, and it's going to be really wonderful for our pet beds that we are going to make. So as you can see, this is not over, like you can't do it within an hour. It's going to take a little bit of time. But when you have, for example, here, when I have my bag, I love these IKEA bags. They're so good for organizing. I have already a bunch of batting. I have a bunch of scraps already. And so I just keep them there. So then maybe I'll, like right now I'm listening to a podcast. So I'm just going to get into the rhythm of cut out the quilt. I'm going to cut out a few more things, and then I'm going to strip them. And then once I have them stripped, then I have enough of them, I will stuff them into the dog bed, which I have 2 of the smaller dog beds here. And then I have the one larger one, which will take more for that. And you also need to consider the size of your washing machine and your dryer for that. So even if you wanted to do this and have a bunch on the go, and then maybe one night you can go hang out, or day, I don't know, at a laundromat, and you can do them all at once. It was really funny. I went down and spoke to my husband. We're making plans for tonight, and I told him what I was doing. And he said, so you're going to make 80 dog beds? And I was like, how do you know me so well? I just can't do one thing. So if you're like me and you like to have a lot of different projects, so I'm going to just find that system. And I'll be recording it here on my YouTube channel. Just because, why not? You can see my process. You can see if it resonates with you. And then if that's what you want to do, then that will work for you. And if you have other ideas and better ideas, please share them in the comments, and then I can learn from you as well. So I'm going to just go ahead and sew my duster together, and we'll kind of see how that's going.